You know, David, there's no clear-cut explanation for the hundreds of cases of drivers refusing to stop. Some drivers might simply be scared. Some might be wanted for something else, so they're trying to avoid being caught. And others may think they'll get away with it because of the Washington law that puts restrictions on police pursuits. Regardless, deputies tell us they've seen an uptick in the number of drivers fleeing, the most recent case happening just last night.
This stretch of Northeast 119th Street in rural Clark County is where deputies say a teen driver made an illegal U-turn Tuesday evening. It would be one thing if that's all the driver did, but it wasn't. Law enforcement says the driver then spun his tires, all of it playing out right in front of a fully marked Clark County Sheriff's Office patrol car. We're told that deputy followed the driver onto Northeast 87th Avenue.
They essentially try to stop a car. He takes off at a high speed, reaching speeds of excess 100 miles an hour, going through some residential neighborhoods. So our guys disengaged, but then they later found the car and were able to take this person into custody.
Sergeant Chris Skidmore says what happened Tuesday is happening far too often. So much so, the sheriff's office started tracking vehicle pursuits in late March. And since then, more than 360 drivers have fled from traffic stops.
That's just for the sheriff's office, too. We don't track what WSP has, but the rest of the agencies that use our Crested Dispatch Center, that number is 741 throughout the whole county.
Sergeant Skidmore says what's troubling about this is that more than half of routine traffic stops typically end in a warning, maybe a citation. Fleeing, he says, makes matters so much worse.
And then when you do an action like this, it turns it into a criminal arrestable offense.
Not to mention, it's incredibly dangerous. Just look at what happened Tuesday night. Somebody flying through a residential neighborhood at 100 miles per hour.
Even though it was late at night, people are still out walking, people are out doing stuff, and cars pulling out and merging aren't expecting other cars to be doing triple the speed limit through the neighborhood.
Sergeant Skidmore is pleading with drivers to obey the law. If you see flashing lights in your rearview mirror, pull over and comply.
If you're willing to listen, have that conversation with them, you'll be on your way shortly and with your day.